According to the Kaiser Family Foundation, over half of Medicare beneficiaries are now enrolled in Part C Medicare Advantage plans. But is this bad news for seniors? Hi, I'm Larry Goist, owner of LMS Insurance Group, where we help seniors navigate the Medicare maze. So in today's short video, I'm going over 3 basic topics. And number 1, I'm going to cover some of the pitfalls of Part C Medicare Advantage plans. Number 2, I'm going to tell you guys about some of the myths that I hear every day about these plans. And number 3, I'm going to give you my opinion on where I think these myths come from. And that's all coming up next. Hey, before I dive in, don't forget to like our channel. Definitely subscribe if you find this content helpful. That's what helps our channel grow. I really appreciate you doing that. So guys, first, I want to tell you why I thought it was important that I did a video on this topic. Look, I've been in the Medicare business for 7 years now. I do turning 65 dinners, educational stuff, webinars. I talk to people turning 65 every day by the dozens. And one of the reoccurring themes is like half the people I talk to, they've been told somewhere through the grapevine or there's just this idea out there that Medicare Advantage plans are scary. And although Medicare Advantage plans are not perfect, you will find out throughout this video that they're certainly not scary either. And I just want consumers, Medicare beneficiaries, I want you to be able to make informed choices. When I work with people, I don't push them Medicare Advantage, Medicare Supplement. I give them impartial information and let them make their own decision. So that's why I felt it was so important to do this topic, because I think there's a lot of fake news and a lot of myths out there about Medicare in general. All right, so let's dive in. So number 1, what are some real pitfalls of Medicare Advantage plans, or Part C? Well, when you enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan, you are going to be part of a network of doctors and hospitals. Now, that shouldn't really be new to people because on employer plans, private plans, any plan you could buy, short-term medical, they all have networks of hospitals and doctors. So this isn't really something new when you enroll in the plan. You have probably been in a network your entire life. But yes, you do have to stay within that certain group, that network of doctors and hospitals to receive the lowest cost under your plan. Okay, the number 2 thing that I think is a minor pitfall on a Medicare Advantage plan is that these plans are going to require prior authorization or, prior approval for certain services. Now, it's important to note, you never need a prior authorization for a life-saving situation. So if you go to the emergency room, an accident happens, you never have to get a prior authorization, okay? But where you would need to get a prior authorization, and this could be annoying, is for different tests, different operations that are not life-saving. So basically, the Medicare beneficiary is not the one doing the work. All the work is done behind the scenes between the doctor and the insurance provider. So that doctor has to provide some sort of documentation that the CAT scan, the MRI, or whatever service they're requesting is actually medically necessary. So that's what a prior authorization is. And yes, you will have to get prior authorizations for certain services on Medicare Advantage plans. But you should note, those prior authorizations are also on employer plans, private plans, on the insurance you've had your entire life, has always required prior authorization. And if you didn't know, well, it's because you're not the one making the prior authorization. It's the doctor and the medical staff that does it in the background. The third pitfall of a Medicare Advantage plan is that some Medicare Advantage plans do require referrals to see other doctors. So in other words, if you wanted to go see a specialist, might be a cardiologist, could be a foot doctor, well, you would have to go to your primary care doctor to then be referred to that specialist. And if you didn't go to your primary care doctor for the referral, then the insurance company does not have to pay for that service because you didn't get a referral. But I will say in 2024, the majority, if not all, Medicare Advantage plans have done away with referrals. Now, 4 or 5 years ago, almost every plan required a referral. So it is still a small element in Medicare Advantage plans. Some do require referrals, but that seems to be becoming a thing of the past. Okay, so now that we've covered some real pitfalls of Medicare Advantage plans, I want to talk about the myths that I hear every day about these Part C plans. So it never fails when I host a educational dinner or a webinar, I always get one person that says, well, I would never do a Medicare Advantage plan because they pick your doctors for you. Well, that's just not true. Okay, on a Medicare Advantage plan, as I touched on previously, yeah, you do have a network you have to stay within. But the insurance company is not telling you what doctor to go to. You have free choice of anybody in that network. So to say Medicare Advantage plans pick your doctors, that is a fabrication. They certainly do not. You can go to any doctor within that network. And it's important to mention the networks are generally very robust. Now, again, it depends where you live. I can tell you one thing for certain, as an Ohio resident, the networks in Ohio are very robust. All the major insurers, or most of the major insurers, cover almost all the major hospital systems in Ohio. So it's, of the 10 major hospital systems around me, 8 out of 10 are going to be covered by almost all the plan. Now, again, that's just an estimate. That's not a true statistic. But from what we see, there's not real problems with networks, not at least in the Ohio market. That's definitely a myth. Now, another one I hear all the time is, well, those Part C plans, they control all your decisions. And what that goes back to is the prior authorization. Look, Medicare Advantage plans do require prior authorization. But according to another study done by the Kaiser Family Foundation, of 35 million prior authorizations that were submitted in 2021, only 6% were denied. So yes, there's a 6% chance, right, in 2021 that you could have a service denied. But that's not even talking about the people that appealed those, right? Of that 6% of people, a majority appealed and won the appeal, and then the service was covered anyway. But if you're just looking at it from a 1,000-foot view, yeah, 6% of prior authorizations on Medicare Advantage plans are denied. If you don't want to take the chance to be in that 6% of people, well then certainly don't take a Medicare Advantage plan. But to act like it's rampant, that, half of your prior authorizations are declined or 1 in 3 are declined, is simply not true, and it is overstated. The third myth that I do hear quite often is, well, people that went that route, well, they regretted it. And again, I can adamantly tell you that is just not true. According to a nonpartisan poll that was done by the BetterMedicareAlliance.org, 93% of people on Medicare Advantage plans, when surveyed, said they are satisfied or highly satisfied with their coverage. 93%. So to think that the people that have went that route are all of a sudden regretting their decision is simply not true. Now, the fourth myth that I do hear quite often is, well, these plans do not cover you outside your state. Now, part of that is true, okay? On Medicare Advantage plans, you generally cannot do routine services outside of your state. You can't go to a regular doctor visit. You can't do an elective surgery out of state. But you're covered for emergency anywhere in the U.S. So it doesn't matter what Medicare Advantage plan you have or what state you're in. If you're out of your service area, you can go to any hospital, you can go to any ER, and it's the same price as if you were in your home state. They cannot charge you more for an emergency out of state. So though it is true that your regular doctor visits might be limited out of your service area. If it was a true medical emergency, you would still be able to receive the care that you need for the same exact price as if you were in network. Okay, so if 93% of people on Medicare Advantage plans say they are satisfied or highly satisfied with their coverage, where do these myths come from? Okay, so this part of the video, this is just my opinion, okay? Everything I gave you prior was hard statistical data. This is my opinion. So the number one place I think where this misinformation starts are doctors and people that work in these medical offices. And the reason is because if you work in the office or you're the doctor, it is more cumbersome to get the Medicare Advantage plan to pay the doctor or to pay the hospital. There is certainly more work that's involved. So if you were a billing specialist at a doctor's office, yeah, you're not going to love Medicare Advantage plan because it's more work for you to get that claim paid, to get it approved. But that does not affect the person on the plan. That affects you, the employee, the doctor, the staff, the person that's working at the office. So this is the number one place I hear it from. Well, I went to the doctor and the office assistant said, never take that type of plan. Or I went to the pharmacy and my pharmacist says, well, don't go that route. Well, take a step back. Do you think for maybe a second that they're telling you what's in the best interest of them? That what makes their job easy? That what makes them get claims paid faster? Because the reality is 93% of people are happy. It's not the Medicare beneficiaries that aren't happy. It could be the doctor, the person that has to handle the billing, because it's more cumbersome, it's more work. The number two place I think these myths come from are from brokers, okay? There is a select amount of Medicare brokers, some that have made a tremendous living. They have much more popular YouTube channels than I have. And they have made a living on bashing Medicare Advantage plans. Well, why would they do this? Well, for starters, every single company that I want to sell for, if I want to sell Medicare Advantage, if I want to sell 20 different companies, I have to take 20 different tests every year to sell for that company. And frankly, there are some brokers out there that they don't want to do that. They don't want to jump through the hoops. They don't want to do the extra work. Because if all you sell is Medicare Supplement, there's no extra testing. You write the policy, you move on with your life. For me, we represent over 15 Medicare companies. Every year I have to take 15 tests, new every year. My friends don't see me from August till October because that's all I'm doing is my testing. So again, there are certain brokers that have made a living on bashing these plans. And I also want to say, those brokers will tell you that we get paid extraordinarily more for Medicare Advantage. And that's just not true. That same person that is telling you we get more for Medicare Advantage, they're making a phenomenal living off of just selling Medicare supplements. They're not starving. They're making a tremendous living selling just supplements. And as a Medicare broker, yes, we do get a one-time payment that is larger than a Medicare supplement. That is true. But the work on the back end with Medicare Advantage clients is 10x what we have to do to service our Medicare supplement book. So in layman's terms, what I'm saying is my Medicare Advantage clients take up all my time. My Medicare supplement clients take up none of my time. So should we get paid a little bit more for a Medicare Advantage plan? Well, I can make the case. But at the end of the day, I still don't steer people one way or another because regardless, we make a good living if we just do the right thing. I think the third area where these myths come about is you might be one of those 6% of people that had a prior authorization denied or you had a bad experience. And if you tell that story to the whole world, well, that can slowly catch on. You know, if you had a horrible experience, if you were in that small subset of people that did, and you're telling your story to everybody, well, You're a real person. It really happened to you. So people could start thinking that that's what happens to the majority. But there's hard statistical data that would prove otherwise, and that's not my opinion. There's hard statistical data, which is all in the description below, that backs everything that I'm saying. So final conclusions. Look, the reality is less than 1 in 5 people in 2007 had a Part C Medicare Advantage plan. Now, in 2024, 51% of people have Medicare Advantage plans. Why would this trend be going like that if these plans were so bad for people? In addition to that, 93% of people, when surveyed, real beneficiaries, say they are satisfied or highly satisfied with their coverage. And furthermore, for doing this for 7 years, enrolling thousands of people into Part C plans, I could tell you from my own personal experience, my clients are happy with their plan. You will have that one-off, that 1 in 100 where it goes wrong. I'm not denying that. But the overwhelming majority of people are satisfied with their coverage. It's giving them better benefits. It's giving them a cap on their spending. And it's giving them things they could not afford otherwise. At the end of the day, my opinion is if you want to know how a Medicare Advantage plan works, you can ask a broker. You can ask your doctor, but really ask somebody that has a Medicare Advantage plan what their experience is with it, right? Because a doctor has a bias. He has a reason of why he's pushing you one way or another. As a broker, they think we have a bias. We're going to push you one way or another. Ask somebody that has a Medicare Advantage plan, their experience, and you'll find the real answer. And hey, if you guys do need more information on Medicare Advantage plans, benefits in your area, and you want real impartial information, use the information on the screen below. We'd love to do a free consultation to make sure you're getting everything you're entitled to. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope this video was helpful. If it was, give it a like or a share, and I'll talk to you next time. Thanks.